So, today we're gonna talk about some psychology related things. And as you can see, I'm standing. I'm standing once again, actually, reminding me of some pretty crazy times when I was actually learning for my A levels. I did the same exact thing because there was lockdown going on and, I basically had nothing to do. And it is just a good way to, I think, feel better about myself if I'm standing than when I'm sitting all day long. It's also better for my spine. I'm also just basically burning more calories. Actually, there's a lot of benefits to standing instead of sitting, and primarily me feeling better about myself and feeling also a bit more productive and being a bit more productive and so on and so on. I wouldn't though say that I'm now gonna stand, because tomorrow I would have also the ability to work standing. I am gonna try to do so and see how this is going. If it is interfering with my workout capabilities and energy levels, then would not be that amazing. I am feeling it in my back that, standing too long is not that of an amazing thing. But anyway, we're gonna go through the psychology subreddit, because there is a psychology subreddit, and I found some pretty amazing and or interesting titles there and or headlines. Let's put it like that. Researchers conducted a study in which participants listened to nature sounds. They found that after just 7 minutes of nature sounds, participants reported lower stress levels along and more. Yeah, and I've had a look at the study, and it says water sounds. So preliminary evidence, the stress reducing effect of listening to water sounds depends on somatic complaints. And so they say it is not quite sure whether it is about people or if it depends on the people, which is, I think, probably going to be the case. Like, we all perceive things in a different way, and so it might be also the case for nature sounds. But I think in general, it's, you could just try it if you're just getting more relaxed and or more creative and or whatnot because of this thing. Then why not doing it, and why not trying it? Watching a speed dating tutorial boosts man's self-confidence and increases their desirability as romantic partners. The question now is, and I haven't had a look at this post or article there, but whether this is actually something that lasts for longer than 20 minutes or so, or if it is really something that's just only lasting for a really short amount of time, this increased desirability and or also confidence or self-confidence, people liking to put it like that. Anyway, exercise enhances physical well-being and mental health. However, the impacts of everyday activities such as climbing stairs, walking, or going to the tram station instead of driving on a person's mental health have hardly been studied so far. Unfortunately, at least as they say. I think there is some studies regarding that, but I don't know. Like, I just haven't had a look at these things, even though it's actually quite interesting when it is all about physical health and mental health and the correlation between those two things. I think it is really interesting, even though I would just in general say, if you're feeling good in your body, if you're feeling good physically, then you're probably also going to feel better, at least mentally as well. If you're just drained all the time and hungry, for example, there is actually hangry or being hangry, so angry when you're hungry. This is actually something that's proven to exist, and therefore, there is definitely a connection between our physical health and our mental health, and therefore tweaking one side is definitely also going to show effects on the other side as well, I would say, and I think. The divorce has negative effects on physical and mental health, new study confirms, which is nothing that I find surprising, actually. Test used to diagnose depression may not work on Black people, study finds. Okay. First meta-analysis shows promise for yoga, meditation, mindfulness in concussion treatment plans. Well, yeah, this is that. There's actually so many interesting things that I could have a look at, especially, by the way, when it comes to substances and or food and things and stimulants and bodybuilding and or just, getting into shape and all of those things. I just looked up caffeine and the effects on bodybuilding, and there's actually some evidences that show that your strength increases, your energy levels increases, and all of those things. And I've also found for myself that I watched a video today which states by a relatively knowledgeable guy, that it should also produce quite a lot of ketones, which then can be used as fuel and or lets the body use fat as fuel. And well, I do hope that I've just said that correctly. I'm actually not really sure. I'm not a doctor. I'm just nothing quite. So please look it up if you're interested in that. But I've kind of also seen that in myself, like on my quote unquote vacation that I've had. Well, not really vacation, but let's put it like on my class trip. Yeah, let's put it like that. On my class trip that I've had this year, actually, which has been one of the most amazing weeks that I've had in my whole entire life. I've drinking so much coffee, like every day a few cups of coffee, and I've really been amazingly lean. And even though I've been consuming so many calories because of alcohol and also because of the things that I've eaten, I've not eaten that much. I gotta have to say that, because most often, and it is probably something that not only I know but you as well, but when I'm doing something that I really am happy about, or that I really do enjoy, then I don't really think about eating. I don't think about food, and I also don't feel really hungry. I tend to feel the most hungry when I just don't have anything to do. Maybe this is just some sign of, okay, I'm only eating because I'm bored, which I think is the case for quite some people. But really interesting. Yeah, I would say that I have consumed just enough calories to just gain some body fat. And I've really been lean, like incredibly lean. And after this week, I've started to gain more weight and stuff like that, just because my workout schedule wasn't that tough. And even though, during this week of my trip, I didn't work out at all quite, I did go for a short little run, and I've also worked out a little tiny bit, just so that I feel good about myself, to be honest. Do not look at how far you have got, how far you have to go, but instead focus on the progress you make with each passing day. Yeah, it's actually something to keep in mind. And yeah, went to Rome last year and stumbled upon this statue of Marcus Aurelius. Really struggling with medications and overall mental health, and really could use some advice or tips. Well, let's find something. This man, Jared Adams, spent 10 years in prison after being wrongfully accused of a crime. He used the prison library to study law and get his sentence overturned. Adams is now a lawyer and dedicates his work to help overturn other wrongful convictions, or convicted, which is amazing. I didn't, by the way, know that there is libraries in prisons, but now I know, I guess. Actually pretty amazing. But let me fix something, because I could also be doing it in that way, so that I'm a bit brighter. Basically pretty shitty in that way, but I could be doing it in this way instead. Do I look shitty now? A bit, to be honest. Making it a bit like that. Is this good? I don't know if it is good. I actually don't know if it is good. Does this work? What if I use another color? What if I use some purplish? Red? No, definitely not. Actually, blue is kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. Let's keep it like that. Let's have some warm light over there, which is actually not bright. It's actually quite bright. But anyway, let's see. I desperately need to laugh. Please recommend me something hilarious. Fiction and non-fiction are both welcome. I have read and enjoyed most of the common funny authors that get recommended around here, like Douglas Adams, Christopher Moore, David Sedaris, Jasper Ford, Terry Pratchett, Jenny Lawson, John Kennedy Toole, etc. Something new would be great. Let's see if there's actually some suggestions for some people of you that needs to read something in this fucked up world. I guess. The 100-year-old man who climbed out the window and disappeared. I read the Swedish original and wasn't very impressed, but sometimes a different language can change the experience. I might check out the English version sometime. If I'm ever in need of a laugh, my go-to books are any of the Calvin and Hobbes comics. Calvin and Hobbes, #1. Yeah, and so on. I'll follow with A Far Side by Gary Larson recommendation. Second this, his humor is so subtle, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, cool. Amazing. There we got like one thing, I guess. No, please don't. Please don't open. Brushing teeth. It's not much, but after years of neglect, I've started doing it again. One small step in the right direction. Yes. If I can appreciate that. Even though I know some people might think, wow, that's just not at all work or something to be happy about because it seems to be so normal or it... Yeah. But yeah, it is fucking amazing, I would say. Let's actually have a look at the psychology or cool guides. You know, maybe there's something of interest or maybe something amazing here. Warning signs anxiety is setting in. Appearing zoned out, snapping at something small, they have become impatient, struggling to make eye contact. They need more reassurance, struggling to sit still. They avoid making plans about the future. They want to leave an event early. Warning signs, someone's anxiety is setting in. So if you're noticing that, take care of the person. But the question is, how should you? You know, should you take this person aside and then talk to the person, which, you know, reminds me of something. And, you know, there's ugly. There is something pretty interesting that I've seen in myself, which is I really am looking forward to my next girlfriend quite. It's strange to put it like that, but it is, I do like taking care of a person in a sense of being nice and caring and loving and all of this stuff, which does not really include, like, I think elderly people, I'd say. You know, like I think it's not the same as if I'm taking care of my siblings, for example, or my parents or something like that. But it is something a bit different, and it is something that I completely enjoy, like being nice and just also protecting people. And I do really feel that when I was with my girlfriend, like the ability and or my maybe even responsibility to just take care and protect this person, which I've always really enjoyed. And I've kind of discovered that, I think, the last week. You know, it popped into my mind, and actually pretty something interesting. It might be something that's quite a man's nature, if I want to put it like that, even though I kind of don't want to put it like that, because it is so you know, so cliche maybe. But anyway, I've just seen something really interesting. Quick injection technique guide. You know, for all people that want to do injections, please don't do it on yourself. There's a lot of things you can do wrong, and you're probably gonna do if you don't have the right education to do so, and also training, I would say, and practice. I mean, you can have the theoretical knowledge of doing so, but if you haven't done it yet on subjects and or some, I mean, there's puppets and there's some, I think maybe even pork skin or something like that getting used for that, but I know that there's something synthetic that is being used for that. Anyway, so intramuscular is on or in a 90-degree angle. I've actually not such a long time ago got an intramuscular injection into my left arm for, in German it is at least hepatitis. I think it's been B and C or something. I don't actually know. Subcutaneous, intravenous, and intradermal, which is in the skin, I guess, since dermal seems to be about the skin, I would assume at least. Intravenous or venous, whatever, into your veins, you know, for For example, if the paramedics are coming or the ambulance is coming, you're probably gonna get, if there is a problem and there is a doctor alongside with them, then you're gonna get an intravenous injection of some kind, whatever it might be. Maybe it is glucose if you're deprived in that area or something. Anyway, come across this really cool graph. Well, no, it's about some religious stuff, and I'm not gonna talk about that. How to properly close a bag of chips? Well, just use some rubber band. Finished. Guide to architectural styles, which is actually pretty... Well, let's actually have a look at this. I'm gonna zoom. Ancient Egyptian, Ancient Greece or Greek, Ancient Roman, Byzantine, Romansk, Norman, Gothic. Actually pretty interesting. Norman being Romanisch, if I remember it correctly in German. Well, no, Romanesque is probably Romanisch. And what is Norman though? And there is also Moorish, by the way. Then Gothic really just sets me back to school, where we have quite learned that in art history. Medieval, Renaissance, Elizabethan or Bathian, Indo-Islamic, Baroque, Jacobean, Palladian, Rococo. There's actually some really nice palace, whatever, in the Rococo style. I think in France there is one, Velasquez, or whatever is actually pronounced correctly. I don't really know. Anyway, Georgian Neoclassical Gothic revival. I'm sorry, I didn't know that there is something. Then the Moorish revival, baronial, federal, Regency, Italianate, Empire. Okay, ideal. Sarcrinic, Jacobean, Art Novea, which is new art. Then something I can't read. National Romantic Expressionist, which is the Sydney's theater. I think it is. I'm actually not sure. Then there is Modern Constructivist, Bauhaus, which is actually a pretty cool style. I might show you then. Art Deco, International, Mid-Century Modern. What is that? Googly. Brutalism, Postmodernism, Late Modernism, Deconstructivism, which is a fucking amazing building. I don't know what it really is. Anyway. Blowstickture, Parametrism, and New Futurism. What if I click on it? I would actually like to. Can I zoom in a bit more? No, I can't. Let's actually check out the picture per se. There is some style called Googie. Googie architecture. This is actually pretty amazing. It reminds me of some vintage things. And I think it is vintage. Very fluent, very creative, and very shapy. And expressive, I would say as well. Actually pretty amazing. Googie architecture of the space age. I think it is indeed like how we thought about the future, or how we are thinking now about the future, or back in the days also, how they thought about the future as what it is going to look like and all of these things. But anyway, I'm going to end the episode there. So yeah, I wish you best health, of happiness, and also success, and also hope that you're going to find yourself and you're going to be remembered, which basically means just being remembered as a good person, and which basically means your legacy, right? And yeah, 3 other questions that I'm having you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions hopefully going to show you your purpose, and maybe also going to show... Yeah. One other idea that I'm having you is what could essentially say to another person or do to another person that is indeed going to change their life in a positive sense, because I think that we all can do something and we all can communicate something that is indeed going to change somebody's life, which is an amazing thing. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to see you the next time. So bye-bye.